Hey, what's up, guys? This is Justin from Justice League Swag, and today we're going to be doing a deck profile on Darius's Dark Kazarian deck profile. Yeah, it's a mouthful. So, starting up with the buddy.
Alright guys, so as you can see, I play for Hero World. My buddy is a dark hero called Violent Valor Lord Crow. The reason why he's my buddy, and I run 4 of him just to let y'all know, because he's the buddy, you should run 4. I run 4 of him because he's an easy call. Call, you gain a gauge. How perfect is that? And then when your buddy call, you gain a life with it. So easy, and then in this deck, gauge is a key. Gauge is key. That's why we have other cards that give us gauge. But free gauge cards, perfect. Run 4 of them because that's your buddy. And he has 6,000 attack, so he can hit a lot of big monsters, big size 3 monsters. So always run 4, and it's a great card to be a buddy. Next, we're going to go to the base of the deck, Kazarian. Run 4 of them. Why? Because he's your base. That's where you get your most powerful attacks coming from. That's where you get all your skills coming from. He's your main thing. You want to focus on him only. 8 attack, 3 crit, 5 defense. When he gets stuff, when he's summoned, you pay 2 gauge, you put a Brave Machine into the soul, and he gains that ability if it's something like a Saybird or a Slash Shark or a Tiger Thrust. Once he get 3 or more in the soul, he gains an extra crit. So now he becomes an even bigger monster. So always...
Just to expedite this a bit, you don't have to say what everything does, just say why you run it.
Okay.
So you could keep going. Kazarian. Kazarian is bae.
Kazarian is bae. Next, we're going to go to another size 3. It's the Impact Monster. The reason why I run the Impact Monster is because he works with Kazarian in a way that not a lot of people would use him. They think the Impact Monster is kind of too much of a card to use. Why I use him is because I use Kazarian and I use a lot of Brave Machines to attack with guys like Gunzala, which ultimately I do a whole bunch of damage in one turn. So he gains the crit for whatever I'm riding to. So that's why I use him. I run him at 2 only because you really only use him when he shows up. He's not really a big asset, but you use him when he shows up, and when he shows up, he's really good.
And not only that, you can search it because Call Super Machine is a
definitely
thing.
It's so much stuff that I can easily search it for. So that's why you have it. Last but not least, in the size 3 monsters is my baby, my spirit animal.
Yeah, I
my
fucking
everything.
Hate that card and Kazarian. Because ideally, when you burn over, you actually kill your opponent. Someone drops burn over. Kazarian can stay on the field because he has Soul Guard.
Yep.
And then that's a huge problem if Cyberd is in the skill, because now Kazarian can attack you twice next turn, and burn over can attack you 3 turns.
So you're getting 5 turns with almost 10 damage in one turn.
5 attacks.
5 attacks. Yeah, 5 attacks in one turn. Well, pretty much.
5 turns, I'd quit this game.
Yeah. 5 attacks, 12 damage. If they don't even have shields won't help if they're at like.
Sometimes if you have a shield, it still won't.
Yeah, it's like it's scary. So that's why I love him, because he always comes to me when I need him. Next, we're going to size 2s. First up is my friend Gunzala. Why I run Gunzala? Because I can ride into him by paying a life. He helps with builds that send stuff to the hand, like Magical Goodbye, stuff like that. He bounces that, and plus he's 5k attack, 5 defense. He can punch through most big stuff, and he's a good setup to my Impact Monster. So 3 is good enough. You don't need 4. You can search him out, so you can. 2 to 3 is fine because you can search them out. So
I mean, not only that, in a mirror match against any heavy weapon destruction build, he's like a key card that you could go into. And instead of wasting hand on Kazarian.
I agree. So Gunzala, he's definitely one of the key players in my deck. So now we're going to grade 1s. I run 3 Gwens. Gwen is such a good card because it's a Shadow Diver. So, but there's only Shadow Dive when it's a Dark Hero on the field. So, size 1, you call it. Every time it does damage, come back to your hand. You can keep replenishing the skill, and it has a card. If you're using a combination with the set spell, perfect. You gain a card every time you call, and then when you attack, it comes back to your hand. So you know that you'll gain a card, extra card every time you call it to the field. And it runs in tangent with Lord Crow. So you got this attacking Lord Crow, this come back to your hand if it does damage, and then Lord Crow skill don't kill itself. So perfect card. And it's, like I said, Shadow Diver, so you could do easy damage. Two crit do easy damage. Going to my last size 1 in the deck is Tiger Thrust. When put into the soul, gives Kaizurion Penetrate. Perfect for cards that play like Ozzy, stuff like that. Perfect for that, and plus he's searchable. All the best thing about it is he's searchable, and he gives Kaizurion Penetrate. So, and he's 2 crit by himself, so he could do a lower good damage by himself, and you can set up for, again, the impact monster. Going into my size 0s, run 2 Slash Sharks. The reason why you may see these numbers in 2 or 3 is because they're searchable. So you can put more cards that you can use, more assets in your deck once you, while taking out some of these cards because they're searchable. You can get them through Kaizurion's effect, Call Super Machine, stuff like that. Slash Shark, his skill, +1/+1 to Kaizurion. Great against stuff that only can hit maybe up to 6 power. It could really slow a deck, my opponent down when they can't hit over 7,000 if I have 2 Slash Sharks in the soul. Now we're going to the last size 0, which is, again, one of my really good friends. It's Saber. So Saber goes into Kaizurion Soul, or anything that I'm riding to goes into a soul. If I'm at his life for less, pay 1 gauge, gain double attack. Kaizurion with one of each in a soul, he got 4 crit coming at you, 8,000 attack, or 9,000 attack, 6 defense. Kaizurion is a big beast. He's the main key why Kaizurion can be a big beast, because he gives that monster of a card double attack. And he's searchable.
Alright.
So now we head into the spells. I run 2, I leave the rest up to you. I leave the rest to you because going up against mirror matches such as, world mirror matches such as, Captain Answer and stuff that needs item, it's a good card because it destroys any card on the field, so it's not really specific to item destruction. You can use it against anything, and that's pretty much it. Pay 1 life. Kaizurion has Soul Guard, so it saves it from destruction. And then if you have Kaizurion with a whole bunch in the soul, it's kind of pretty much almost a free card, just that 1 gauge. Next, we're going up into one of the nullifiers that's in my deck. It's called I Won't Let You. And I Won't Let You, you pay 1 gauge, you nullify the attack, and this card cannot be nullified. This deck, you'll have gauge, so it's pretty much like it's not free, but it's pretty much a good nullifier. I've seen Do Your Moves is better because it's free, but this is pretty much a good nullifier when you come up against decks who, they thought you run out of I've Seen Do Your Moves, and they gauge in your deck.
Not only that, when you run into decks that have spell nullifiers.
Yes. So it pretty much it saves me quite a few times. Going into some more spells here, we got Call Super Machine. Staple in the deck. It saves lives. Really, it saves my life all the time, except for 1. But pretty much 1 gauge, grab any Brave Machine. So that could be an impact monster, that could be Kaizurion, that could be Kaizurion support. It grabs it. It could be Hyper Energy. Yeah. Like, it literally searches for any Brave Machine that you want, and it can be a clutch card if you want to get Saber, if you need more gauge. It comes in handy. It's really like, with this and Kaizurion, these are the 2 biggest staples in the deck, because without them, the deck just slows down completely. Next, we're going to a good card for Kaizurion specific. Body of Steel gives the card plus 5,000 defense and counterattack. So Kaizurion is already big on his own, so you give him counterattack, and then you pretty much wrecking your opponent. Plus 5,000 defense, so if you and counterattack ability, you're higher, you destroy a monster. It could be good against guys.
Not that. If the card remains on the field, it counterattacks.
Yes, but more than likely the card will remain on the field unless you have another destruction card. Like I'll leave the rest up to you, but more than likely they're going to be on the field, and Kaizurion will be powerful enough to counterattack. I guess another staple in the deck, because without this you probably will run out of gauge rather quickly in this deck. It's Hyper Energy, searchable spell card. It's considered a Brave Machine to some other people's chagrin. Pretty much play game 4. Straightforward. You can put it into the Soul Kaizurion when you ride it. You can search it out. It's perfect free gauger. We have the free nullifier. I've Seen Do Your Moves.
Yep, staple.
Staple. Pretty much, you can't hit me. Unless you have a spell modifier. Then, you know, can't do nothing about that. Alright, this is a new spell that I added to my deck along with the Impact Monster is, you know, I cannot afford to lose. So pretty much, you pay this card and you can grab up to 2 Brave Machines. If you grab 2, you have to discard a card. But if you only need 1, it's a free card pretty much, 1 for 1. And it's clutch because it can search out any Brave Machine. So you can get Hyper Energy if you need it. Kaizerion, Saber, Tiger Thrust, anything that's a Brave Machine, you can search it out. Even the Impact Monster. So if you really trying to do a lot of damage in one turn, that card can come in handy. Then you have, you know,
it's about time I got serious.
It's about time I got serious. Barely read upside down. When you have Six Life or Less, that's the one thing about this card where a lot of people has like, oh, you know, pay a gauge and then draw 2. I have to be at 6 life or less, but the deck doesn't go off until I'm at 6 life or less, so it kind of works out in the end. Pay 1 gauge, draw 2 cards. Who wouldn't want to do that? And like I said, the deck goes off at 6 life or less, so it's not really a bad thing for you, especially when you have a lot of gauge thanks to Hyper Energy. And last but not least, you have the Impact. Such a good impact. It really is. Brave Energy, full drive. Pretty much, you pay 2, deal 2 damage automatically. And what makes it even better is how many cards that's in the soul of a card you're riding to, it deals extra damage. So if you can pump Kaizerion up with 6 soul, you can deal 8 damage in one turn. But your opponent has to be at 5 life or less in order to cast. And you have to have a card in ride. So that's the one side to it. But it's such a good impact. Deal so much damage with just paying 2 gauge and having the monster in ride. It's perfect for this deck.
Great. So we'll have more deck profiles coming as we finish efficient decks. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe.
And share.